Welcome back to Rumor Cheers. Today we're going to call this Mary's episode because we find out what happens if her favorite Starbucks order turned into a stout.
Okay.
As I said, today we find out what happens if Mary's Starbucks order turns into a stout. This is Continuous Ignition from Bottle Logic Brewing. It's a caramel coffee stout. An imperial stout aged in bourbon barrels and finished with caramel and Mostra roasted coffee. The food pairings are apricot Gruyere, pepper rubbed barbecue spare ribs, crispy chocolate chip cookies. Last one's a bit of a cop-out in my opinion. Director's notes: I don't need an inspirational quote. I need coffee. That's
same.
you.
Same.
Batch number 1, released 2022. This was released, last week?
Yes.
And we're filming this on June 29th. Yeah. So released about June 22nd. The viscosimeter is at a 7.5, so it's a thicker stout. And it's only 12% alcohol.
Only. It's just a light boy.
Well, compared to the other stuff, it's been at 14, 15%. Yeah, Mary, what's your usual Starbucks order?
It's usually a shaken espresso with more shots of espresso added and vanilla syrup, stuff like that, you know.
Caramel?
I don't usually put caramel in it.
I feel like it's caramel colored, though.
Well, it's coffee with milk in it.
Cream? Oh, milk.
Well,
That's why I
not
think
milk. It's like they put
cream.
It's a shaken espresso drink, and I think they put cream in it.
Okay, so that's why I always think it's caramel.
Yeah, but
I've tasted it before. To me, it tastes a little caramely, but it's just in my head.
I'm not opposed to caramel in coffee, but I just find that it sits in my stomach sometimes, and I usually get Starbucks when I'm on the way to softball, and I don't want it sitting in my stomach. But I'm not opposed to caramel in coffee.
Yeah, caramel and coffee.
No,
good pairing.
Caramel.
We went over this a long time ago in an episode me and Matt did together.
Yeah, I
Do you
remember
say
that.
caramel or caramel? Let us know down in the comments below. And if you figure out how to let us know through text, you're a winner. Anyway, I bought this stout for you. I saw it coming out when they posted on their Instagram. And I thought this is right up Mary's alley. The reason you got into stouts was because of coffee.
Yes.
We've had other coffee stouts together. So I figured this is perfect for you.
I love it. Thank you for thinking of me because I would buy this in a second too.
Well, let's see if it's worth a second bottle because that's enough talking. Let's get to drinking. All right, it's time to open up this caramel coffee stout.
Our friends are not gonna know what you're talking about if you keep saying caramel. What is that? Everybody knows caramel. Oh, switching it up today. That usually means that there's floaties if you pour mine first, but I don't see any.
Really low carbonation on this stout. It's a thicker stout, higher ABV, so usually expected, but it's starting to get a little bit of floating bubbles up here now.
That smells like black coffee.
Oh yeah, big coffee on the nose. Sweetness too. I get a little bit of that caramel coming through in the nose as well. A little bit of that bourbon as well coming through. This is fresh, so I expect a little bit of that bourbon kick that you like so much.
Okay, I'm down for that. I don't smell any kind of sweetness. This smells like black coffee. Like a good flavor of coffee, though. It's not just like Folgers or Kirkland.
Right, this is Mostra coffee, so they're supposed to have pretty good coffee. And they've been in a lot of beers lately. I was just talking with a guy when we got our Horus beers. And, he was saying that Mostra's been making the rounds.
Yeah, I'm excited about this.
All right, well, let's hope it holds up on the taste.
I love it. That is coffee.
That's coffee.
This only tastes like coffee, no alcohol.
Yeah, surprisingly, not a lot of the bourbon barrel.
But it tastes so good. Like, I feel like I can taste the bourbon, but it doesn't taste alcohol-y. Like it's the flavor of bourbon. It's not the alcohol of the bourbon.
Yeah, I get a little bit of that, like at the oak barrel almost of the bourbon. Maybe a little bit of that vanilla, like almost like a cream in your coffee.
Yeah, I get that at the end, after I've swallowed.
Yeah, it's very sweet at the end, but the beginning is like a coffee bitter, like a dark coffee bitter, but really nice. I would say at the end too, as it finishes, I do get the caramel, but the caramel is not super present like I was hoping it would be.
I'm glad that there's not a lot of caramel, because I have a confession. I like coffee a lot, but I like it not to taste like coffee. I hate black coffee. I put as much sugar and as much cream in there to make it the opposite of black coffee. So I didn't want a lot of caramel in here because I didn't want it to be too sweet or too thick. I mean, this is perfect.
But you also add sugar to your coffee.
Right. So I don't understand either.
Good to know.
I don't get it either, because if I'm gonna drink a beer like this, it's different than drinking coffee, because I feel like coffee's obviously not this thick.
Right.
And I don't like the thick beer. I don't know, because I know you can get caramel into a stout without making it so thick.
Yeah.
What's wrong with me?
Nothing's wrong with you. I think you just prefer stouts to coffee.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You did say you tasted a lot of coffee in there. I would say it's not as strong as dark coffee, and all the things they add, especially the stout with the malts and everything, makes it sweeter, makes it creamier, and that's what you're looking for in your coffee. So it's more of that flavor that you want.
I think with this, for me, it really hits me right up front, right when it hits my tongue with, this is black coffee. But then, it smooths out and it sweetens out a little bit, and then I finish with like a cream taste, like you said.
Yeah.
I feel like if I was only drinking that very first hit and it would just be black coffee, that's not how I take my coffee, so I wouldn't like it. But it smooths out and sweetens out.
It evolves.
Yeah. So
yep, for sure.
That's why I really like it.
It's very comparable to a non-barrel aged stout where you get kind of one note the whole time. This evolves, and that's what I think we both really enjoy about the barrel aged stouts. For whatever reason, they carry the flavors and they hold them really well, and they just evolve on your palate over time. Speaking of which, we're going to sip on this a little while longer, let it warm up, and see if any other flavors come out, and then come back with our final thoughts. Coming back, Mary.
Hey.
It's warmed up a little bit. I get a little bit more caramel out of it.
Really?
As it's warmed up.
Let me chew it first.
Okay, well, you know what? It's time for the big chew. What did you discover?
Coffee. And I mean, always when I chew a beer and it's barrel aged, I always get more of, whatever they barrel aged it in. So that in this case, there's a lot more bourbon in it. I don't get much caramel.
I get a little bit more than it's warmed up.
You're wild.
But it is sweet. I do wish it was a little bit more caramel in there, but that's okay. Do you know what you're going to rate this beer out of 5?
4.5.
Wow, so you still really, really enjoy it.
I love it. I would go buy more right now.
All right, well, we're going to go buy more. I'm going to give it a...
4.5.
No, I honestly...
4.75. It's a 5, people!
I'm going to give it a 4. Not my favorite stout from Bottle Logic. I don't think I'm as partial to the coffee as you are. I've had better coffee stouts from them too, so that kind of is playing with my mind here. I'm missing the caramel. I know they can do coffee, but I'm missing the other component of this beer. And like he's playing with me here, and it's good. Don't get me wrong. Maybe it's just a a matter of knowing. It's just kind of be like, I know you can do better. I know you can do better.
You're a caramel macchiato girl, huh?
Love a good caramel macchiato.
Yeah, I knew it. You're a White Claw girl and a caramel macchiato girl.
They all know that's not true.
Friends, there's nothing wrong with liking a caramel macchiato or a White Claw or a Truly. But I think you're a little less partial to coffee in general.
Well, I don't drink coffee anymore.
So do you think that that's why... I mean, you did say that you missed the caramel, but do you think that that's why you're giving it a lower score too? Do you not like the taste of coffee, or you just don't like what it does?
I do like the taste of coffee. I just drink my coffee black. Thinking about it. I'm thinking about maybe 4 is too low.
Yeah, 4 is definitely way too low. This is still a really solid stout.
Yeah, I'm liking it a little bit more now that I'm tasting it again, thinking about it again.
I
was teetering on the edge. I'm going to give it a 4.25.
You're only, side note, you're only allowed to amend your ratings if it's up and for Bottle Logic. You can amend your ratings if it's down for any other brewery, but Bottle Logic, you can only go up.
It's a good coffee stout. There are other ones that I enjoy more. Hypermash Hydra and Fall of Umibozu come to mind, but Bottle Logic, they do a good job here.
They always do a great job. Always.
Yep, you're a Bottle Logic stan now.
Mm-hmm. I'm a what? What'd you call me? My name's
Stan.
Mary. My name's not Stanley.
I'm Stan. But anyway, that does it for today's beer review. Like, share, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed it. Let us know down in the comments below, what are your favorite coffee stouts, and maybe we'll pick them up and try them. Until next time, we're the Brewers, trying every beer from around the world. One sip at a time.
Ready? Ready! I'm so sorry.
Caramel.
Well, what about that A?
Caramel.
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 What's this?
Continuous ignition.
No, what's this word? What's this word right here?
Cara.
What's this word?
Mel. Caramel.
No! Well, not true. I've seen you down a few White Claws in my day.
Only when I had to.
What's the difference between White Claw and Truly? Truly, there's no difference. So
there truly is no difference.
White Claw / Truly girl over here.
Only when I was in a time of great need.